Tensions between the U.S. and Iran reaching a boiling point today, all after a U.S. drone strike killed a high-ranking Iranian general. General Qasem Soleimani was killed late last night after a U.S. airstrike targeted a convoy near the airport in Baghdad. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, the general was actively deploying and developing plans to attack American diplomats and service members in the region. Now Iran is vowing harsh retaliation against the United States. In the aftermath of that attack, the U.S. has told Americans to leave the country, and other world leaders are calling for de-escalation, some even wondering if the United States is on the brink of another war. ABC's Trevor Ault takes a look.
The American drone strike, which killed top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, already sending shockwaves around the world. The U.S. now sending 3,500 additional troops to the Middle East as President Trump praises what he sees as a military victory.
Last night, at my direction, the United States military successfully executed a flawless precision strike that killed the #1 terrorist anywhere in the world.
One U.S. official and a source familiar with the matter telling ABC Soleimani was planning a series of attacks across Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria. In Washington, the president's supporters lauding the swift action to strike.
The architect and chief engineer for the world's most active state sponsor of terrorism has been removed.
But world leaders are now urging caution, some fearing further escalation. The attack taking place at Baghdad International Airport, home of U.S. ally Iraq, and also now drawing condemnation from their prime minister as a breach of his country's sovereignty. Iranians taking to the streets as their supreme leader vows severe revenge against the United States, perhaps turning the thousands of American troops and intelligence workers in the region into targets. And some Democrats upset they weren't involved in the decision to strike, now concerned about the consequences moving forward.
This action may well have brought our nation closer to another endless war, exactly the kind of endless war the president promised he would not drag us into.
A major question now is not if, but how Iran will respond, possibly by attacking oil tankers or ships like the country was accused of doing last year, by launching a cyber attack against the United States, or by trying to take down a prominent American military or diplomatic official in retribution. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
And while some lawmakers are praising the airstrike against Iran, others are worried what the long-term effects will now be. While hosting a town hall in eastern Iowa today, former Vice President and presidential candidate Joe Biden did not mince words when asked about that attack.
The last thing we need is another major conflict on the Persian Gulf right now. And so I just am concerned that we thought through the second and third iterations of this. And so far, I've not seen that, but there's a lot at stake.
And lawmakers in the tri-state are speaking out after the attack as well. Iowa Republican Senator Joni Ernst saying that the Iranian general has, quote, orchestrated heinous and reckless actions, including the slaughter of Americans, for far too long. Now at the direction of President Trump, has been brought to justice. Nebraska Senator Deb Fischer echoing that sentiment, saying, quote, the president's decisive action sends a message that while our goal must be peace, the United States will not tolerate Iranian provocations or further attacks on Americans.